Oh, hello, my friends. Today, there was a Nintendo Direct, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go over the highlights. I'm not going to go over every single thing, just the highlights that I wish to talk about. So the whole thing opened up with the Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC, and it looks really, really cool. I already think it's really, really neat how, like, the final Splatfest of the previous game, that kind of determined the theme of this game, but then, like, we get a taste of both things, you know, like Chaos won, so that's how the game is, but then we get the order in the DLC. I just think it's cool. We get to experience both things. Love the weird, like, bleached, dying coral kind of look, but the whole thing is also very, like, weird and high-tech. Just love the whole aesthetic. Splatoon aesthetic is already just incredible, and this looks really, really neato. Seems to be some kind of like survival tower kind of thing. You know, a little bit like Salmon Run, where you're fighting these fish monsters, but they're like weird skeleton fish. I don't know, but it looks really cool. It looks like there's something to do with, you know, raising up your stats, and it looks neat. I don't know exactly what the whole thing is gonna entail. Because, you know, Octo Expansion had a lot of different levels. It was just kind of like a second campaign. I don't know if this is just going to be like one mode where you're just fighting these weird skeleton fish or what. But whatever it ends up being, it looks fun. I have no doubt it's going to be really awesome and fun. And I'm glad we finally got to see it. I really expected it in the last Direct. So it's nice to finally get a look. When that comes out, it'll give me a nice excuse to jump back into Splatoon for a while, so that's fun. I always like the story content more than anything anyway, so that's definitely up my alley. Then we got a reveal for Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and it's really, it's gonna sound like I'm just trashing the series and its fans. I'm definitely not trying to. It's just, here's the thing about Mario vs. Donkey Kong. There was this stretch where Nintendo just put out so many of them. Just so many. Just like over, you know, the DS and the 3DS, just endless sequels. And so, like, anytime there was a Direct and Mario vs. DK came up, it was like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, another one. Sure. It was just so, like, so hard to care. And I'm sure they're cool games. I'm sure they've got fans. And it has been weird that we've gone so long without one. I really, really have been expecting one. I probably had it in the predictions video like years ago, but I can't just keep predicting it, so it was inevitable one would come up. I will say it's a little bit disappointing though that like even a brand new one would already make me go, okay, cool, whatever. But it's a remake of the original. It just seems so unnecessary. I mean, I guess it makes sense because the Switch, it doesn't have like the dual screens or whatever. I don't know, just make a new one that's good for Switch. Just remaking the Game Boy Advance one. It's just so, like, I don't know. It just seems like a very safe, easy kind of thing to do. It's better than nothing, though, so I'm really not complaining. I guess it's just a little hard to get excited. I don't know. It looks fun. I really hope it's priced appropriately. Don't make it, like, $50 or whatever. Just put it on the eShop. Be done with it. Then we got a little more of Super Mario RPG, and I tried not to look because I'm trying not to spoil myself too much, but the stuff that I did see, it looks so good. Just nothing new to add on that front. It looks so good. Just the visuals look so good. All the characters and the environments, it looks really, really good. But this little trailer did reveal that they're introducing a like boss rematches, like extra hard versions of the bosses, I presume, in the post game. That's really, really cool. And then they also mentioned that the characters can do triple moves. I imagined that would have been in the original, and I haven't like looked it up I looked up like one or two things, and people were saying that this is new. Oh, like triple moves together, like that's cool. If that's just a brand new mechanic, that's great, you know. Anything to make this not just an exact one-for-one remake. It's nice to introduce new stuff and move things around a little bit. So that's cool. Cannot wait to play that game. We're getting very close now. This was a shocker. Like, never would have guessed in a million years. Another code, Recollection. The two, I guess in America, the first one was called Trace Memory, so that's the way that I remember it. but I guess it's another code, and there were two, and I played the first one on my DS, and I loved it. But the story really does not wrap up, and the sequel never came to America, and it was like on Wii, and I never played it. And apparently they're completely remaking, like really nice remake, not just like redoing the assets, but like you have like an animated character who was probably in the Wii version, but not the DS one. But like for both games, like this complete like remade, reimagined thing, like just what a weird surprise. I will say I'm a little torn. As a person who played the DS one, didn't play the Wii one, I really do want to play these. I really, really loved the first one, but one of the reasons I loved it so much was because of the limitations of the DS. I loved DS games that just like, they had that kind of weird, it was kind of a mix between like PS1, PS2, kind of visual aesthetic, but then also like classic point and click adventure game. Just had this very particular old kind of style that meshed with me so much. It's so nostalgic, and that is definitely not present in the remake, because the remake is like nice, you know, it's nice and it's newer, so that is like better. But yeah, that's one of the things I love so much about it. So I'm a little bit torn. I think I do want to play this, but I'm not 100% sure. Whatever the case though, amazing. That's so cool. That's really, really incredibly cool. I know it's not a massive series or anything, but it's one of those, you know, throw them a bone kind of things where you've got a very small but very passionate group of people who are just so into this one thing, and it's like, let's just give it to them. Let's give them this cool collection, see who else wants to play it. I love it. Then we got more on Princess Peach Showtime, which was a little bit surprising because in the last Direct, it was weird that they revealed it and didn't show us much of anything about it. They really should have just saved it. If they were this close to having a whole trailer to show, they should have just saved it. Whatever, who cares? We got the full thing. And I think I'm gonna do a whole video on that one. Yeah, I care enough about this video that I think it's gonna be a separate video, or this game, a separate video. So I'm not gonna go into super huge detail, but they gave us like actual gameplay, and they revealed that in each different like production, Peach puts on different costumes, and that gives her different movesets, kind of changes the way that the gameplay works, and that's just fun. I mean, like, come on, like Peach with all these just cool, cute new outfits and stuff. Like, I love it. It works thematically. It's fun. I'm really excited to play the Peach game. Peach, and a name, Showtime. Princess Peach, Showtime. That's so cool. She's getting a game. She's getting another game, folks. One weird little thing, if you want to talk about like surprising re-releases, the first 3 Tomb Raider games are getting remastered. And this is interesting. I've been hoping for them to bring the first of the modern trilogy to Switch for a long time, because it was on systems that it's the hardware power, it works. At least the first game. I love that game so much. Instead, we're getting the classic trilogy, which is cool in its own way. I could never play those darn games. They're too hard. The controls are awful. I just could never do it. But they look cool. The main thing I actually really want to point out about this, though, is that it is so barely remastered. It's like there were times when it was hard to tell if I was looking at the original or the remaster, because like it would have like PS1 graphics, and then like the thing would swipe over and be like, now it looks like PS1 and a half graphics. It's like PS2, maybe. Like they're just barely better at all. In some cases, I feel like they looked worse. It was really weird. Like, I get it, the Switch isn't that powerful, but it's more powerful than this. If you're gonna remaster it, it's supposed to, like Lara Croft herself obviously looks a lot better. Way more polygons, but like the backgrounds, it just like barely improved them at all. It was just kind of funny. So Trombone Champ, that's coming to Switch, and that's pretty cool. I think the most notable thing about that is that, you know, like you gotta have silly control options. Like the impreciseness is the whole fun. So I love that you got the IR. You can use your hand, like how far away it is from the controller to control it. Like that's the only way to play. Like, you know, or motion controls using the using the Joy-Con. That's good too, because that's also pretty imperfect, but you gotta do it with the IR, because just the sillier the better. That's really funny. So we got another look at Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and that is what they're calling it, which is kind of surprising. It was Dark Moon here in the America. And I guess they just kind of regretted that name. I mean, it didn't make sense to me that just naming things differently for different regions is already kind of ridiculous. I feel like we gotta just don't do that anymore. We pretty much don't. It's kind of like it's kind of a thing of the past. But yeah, they're like, well, we have 3 on Switch in America. So if we're gonna re-release 2, just call it 2. That's fine. That's good. The game looks great though. I mean, I knew it would. You can tell just playing it on the 3DS that you're like, if this was just emulated, if this was just running on different hardware at a higher resolution with a higher resolution display, you know it would look great. Like, you can tell. The bones are just so incredible. And so, like, yeah, like, this doesn't have quite the level of polish that Luigi's Mansion 3 has, but, like, it still looks really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to having it on my Switch. Why is it coming next summer, though? See, this is kind of an aside, but this Direct definitely made me feel like, yeah, the idea that the next Switch is coming next year. And so we're getting a lot of, like, little projects, little smaller projects, or, like, a lot of remasters and remakes and stuff. This is such end of generation stuff. So it's like, I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, that should be like a later this year. I mean, I guess it's like the schedule's pretty packed. Maybe early next year, but the fact that it's like next summer, like it's gonna be a year from reveal to release for a remaster of a Luigi's Mansion game. So yeah, definitely feels like they are strategically padding out the schedule, and I can't blame them. So back to it, they talked about the Nintendo Museum, how like their old headquarters or whatever, they're turning into a Nintendo Museum. They're gonna finish construction next year, and that's cool. I guess that's all there is to say about that one. That's pretty cool. And they talk about some amiibo, Xenoblade amiibo, Sora amiibo, Nito. I don't have any opinions on that. Why did I bring it up? I don't know. Whatever. Cool. So then we got an F-Zero game. We finally did it. Finally got an F-Zero game. But it was one, I guess it's you know, one of those monkey's paw things. I really don't like, I don't know what like the greater opinion is in the F-Zero community on F-Zero 99. I don't know like what the percentage is from like it's better than nothing to this is a slap in the face, you know, because I've been on both sides of that throughout my life, you know, plenty of times. Oh, at least it got something. At least people are going to be looking at it and talking about it. And on the other side, like, really? We've waited this long and this is what you give us? I don't know. I don't know where you're all at, but it's cool. It's definitely a cool idea. Sure, it would have been cool if it was like, I mean, gosh, just remaster the stupid GameCube one. I don't know why they haven't done that. But yeah, a battle royale, just hearing them be like, F-Zero is back as a battle royale. Just very, very surreal, very, very funny thing to hear. But yeah, it's a cool idea. 99 cars and you're all trying to get to the end and it looks fun. I love the visuals. I love the visuals on the cars themselves. Gotta wonder how long this is gonna be up. It didn't say anything about a limited release, but then why would F-Zero get a forever game, but Mario doesn't? And is it really just because Mario, like F-Zero 99 is because you're 99 players. Mario 35 is 35 players, but that's because Mario, it was the 35th anniversary and you can't have the game if it's not the 35th anniversary anymore. Like, is that really literally the only reason they took down Mario? I don't get it. Don't understand. But whatever. Hopefully F-Zero 99 will stick around. Then we got some info on the final wave Mario Kart DLC. I would have liked to see more of the courses. I don't know why they're like teasing out the information like this. But you got your Kongs, you got your Diddy Kong, your Funky Kong, you got your Pauline and your Peachette, you know, stuff coming over from Tour, coming over from previous games. Cool. Awesome. Why not? Why not? More characters, more cool. And here's the funny thing about this Direct. Here's where things get a little bit funny. This Direct was not awesome for the most part. Most of it was like fine. It's fine, you know, a couple little surprises. Oh, another code. That's cool. Trombone Champ. That's cool. It's just, like, there wasn't really a lot in the surprise department. It showed a lot of cool stuff. Seeing the Splatoon DLC, that's cool. Like, yeah, sure, you know, and it's fine. It's cool. It's cool to get updates. It's just the thing about a direct is you want those surprises. You know, you want the bombshells. That's what everybody remembers a direct for. And this direct, it was fine. It wasn't anything special. I'm not going to call it a snoozer, but it was definitely on the lower end, largely because Nintendo has kind of like set this precedent. The last couple years of directs have just been so good. So good. They've like not even done a direct if they didn't have a bunch of stuff to show. So the bar is set pretty high, and this one, it's not really delivering. It's just not delivering. We're on minute 39. And it's time for the one more thing. And it's like, all right, I mean, if you're gonna make this a really good direct, yeah, you're gonna have to pull out something pretty big. I don't know, I mean, Nintendo's played most of their cards, you know, if it's not like Metroid Prime 4 or something. What else could it be? What else could it possibly be that would make this a special Nintendo Direct? And then that music kicked in. And that book showed up. And I am still in awe. I am still... It's shaking slightly. There's a small tremble inside of me. I'm still recovering. I'm still trying to process what happened at the end of that direct. Because it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to accept. Not hard in the it's just, no, I mean, like, it goes so against the reality that I thought was real that it's like I'm assimilating this information. And it's taken a while. And of course that's gonna be its own video. Of course that's going to be its own video. I'm not going to talk about it in depth here. But it did happen. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who felt that the direct overall was pretty eh. You know, if you're not a fan of the game that got revealed at the end, probably pretty disappointed. Me, though, that's the kind of thing that just makes the direct. What even happened in the rest of the direct? I don't care. Who cares? I got this. I got this. And I am happy. And today is a good day. Oh, it's such a good day. But it's also a very busy day. I naturally have many things to talk about and make videos about. So I'm going to leave you at that and say, overall, the direct was pretty darn good to me. Pretty darn good to me. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you felt about the Nintendo Direct down in the comments, if you wouldn't mind. Goodbye.